So I gotta put food on that motherfucker table, nigga. This shit is lame to y'all niggas. This shit funny to y'all niggas. This shit ain't funny to me, nigga.
Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson, man. And you guys already know I'm going to be bringing you guys my preview of how we're going to beat the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday, man, for the divisional round matchup. So before we hop into the video, I would appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think might enjoy my content, man. And I will be going live for the game on Sunday as well, just for a heads up again. When the Cowboys keep advancing, I'm going to keep on live streaming these games. So, hopping straight into it like I normally do with the injury report. Anyone that has a dash next to the name, that means they're going to play. Whoever's out is out. Whoever's questionable is questionable. So, Quinn Bohanna, he's going to play. Thank God, because we needed an extra one tech in this game, especially since the Niners love running the ball. DeMarcus Lawrence is going to play. Israel Mukuamu is going to play. Trayvon Mullen, he's available to play, but I don't know if we're going to keep him as an inactive. I'm not sure yet. Tyron Smith, of course, he's going to play. Peters is out. That's somebody who I wanted to have in this game, so that's why we can move Tyler Smith into the inside to play guard, to stop Kinlaw and Armstead, but we'll be fine. Jaron Curse is questionable, but they said that after the playoff game when he got diagnosed with the same MCL sprain that he was dealing with earlier in the season, I sidelined him for 4 weeks. He said he's definitely going to play in this game. So the people that are out for the Niners are of course, Jimmy Garoppolo and Ambry Thomas, if I said his name correctly. So yeah, man, like how I did for the last playoff game, I'm going to do again for this playoff game. The narratives, some of the storylines that are coming into this game. So that's why some of you guys have a good indicator of how people feel around this matchup. So right now, Cowboy fans, some of them feel confident, a lot like myself. There's a very small minority of the Dallas Cowboy fans who feel really confident going into this game. But there's other Cowboy fans who are very scared. And to me, it doesn't make any sense. But I'll dive into that too a little bit later. But if you just look at the screenshot I have right here, when they do their weekly preview matchups, they normally, in the NFL and these big market networks like ESPN and everybody, they always pick the indicator of, who's going to win or whatever. Vegas has the Niners favored by 4 points, and I'm doing this video Friday, so they moved the line back to 3. So basically they're saying that's a pick'em game. It can go either way and things of that nature, but like I said before in previous videos, that when the Cowboys feel doubted, they always rise to the occasion. A lot of people have the Cowboys losing. Like right now, if you look at the screenshot that I'm, showing with who they're picking, and 9 of them are picking the Niners, and only 1 is picking the Dallas Cowboys. Everyone knows if you look at the score, if you look at some of the scores, they're having it around the 30s, mid-20s, because it's going to be that sort of game where this game is going to rely on a last-second drive. It's going to come up to a key defensive stop. This is going to be a really, really, really great game. That's going to come down to ultimately the trenches and who can win the battle in the trenches. Obviously we took an L to them last year in the wild card matchup. But it's funny how it is because we're coming into the similar situation of the Niners, what they were last year. The Niners last year, they had to fight for everything. They had to play all the tough opponents. They had to play the Rams twice. They had to play the Cardinals team, who was a playoff team with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins. They had to play the Seattle team, who still had Russell Wilson. Even though they weren't that good, they had to fight and claw in every single game to earn the respect. And that's what Dallas had to do. Dallas was facing adversity all year with injuries. We lost 2 cornerbacks. We lost an all-pro offensive tackle, 2 with Terrence Steele and Tyron Smith. Like I said, you missed 2 starting cornerbacks. You missed your starting quarterback in Dak Prescott for 6, anywhere from 5 to 6 weeks. You were missing a lot of players. You went through a lot of adversity. You took a lot of tough L's, but you had to come out and you had to scratch in every single game. Yes, you went out and, you took care of business in the wild card matchup like how you were supposed to. But, everyone's hyping up the Niners, man. Same thing how they were with us last year. It was an even spread as well last year. It was a pick'em game. A lot of people were favoring the Niners. Not that much, but, A lot of people didn't see the Cowboys winning, but a lot of people did see the Cowboys winning because they were the 3 seed. They had a lot on the line and everything like that, and I feel like that's how it is this year, but opposite. The Cowboys have nothing to lose. None of us, a lot of people didn't expect the Cowboys to go as far as they did this year. And, they're going to keep going. But like I said, nobody expected them to get out of the first round against Tampa. Everyone thought the Cowboys were going to blunder and they were going to get, stage fright and scared of the moment. But we didn't. We obviously went out there. We took care of business. The Niners have everything to lose. And also, if you look at the Niners, man, every single time that they played a capable offense. So this is all Googleable research that I'm saying. When they played the Kansas City Chiefs, it was a close game. But what the Kansas City Chiefs did, they ultimately took over that game and they put up 40. Marcus Mariota put up 28 on the Niners. And this is when the Niners still had everybody. Like, they didn't have major injuries. The only person they didn't have was Elijah Mitchell. But Kyle Shanahan runs such a great offensive running scheme that you don't really need an elite back like how he has with Christian McCaffrey. But still, he had Elijah Mitchell for some games. You still had that same defense. And Atlanta scored 28. The Raiders scored 34 with Jarrett Stidham. They had a lot of great weapons as well with Devontae Adams, Waller, Renfro, Malik Hollins, and you still had Josh Jacobs. So they still had a lot of talent. But, every single time that the Niners played somebody with a capable offense, they got in a tussle with them. And they got blown out by the Chiefs. They had the Chargers were doing Chargers-like things when they played the Chargers this year. They had a lead on them. And then they let the Niners come back and get them. So there's a lot of doubt out in the air. A lot of people don't have the Cowboys winning. Some people don't have the Niners winning. But like I said, it's going to be a really good game. So far, that's the storylines. A lot of people are doubting the Dallas Cowboys, thinking they have no chance to be on the field. They're telling they shouldn't even show up, things of that nature. But it's another thing, in my opinion, when a team like the Dallas Cowboys has been preparing 370 plus days to play the Niners. We've been waiting to play the Niners all year. And I don't think that's something that they really anticipated, but the Dallas Cowboys did. That's the reason why we did a lot of things that we did in the offseason. We got rid of La'el Collins. We got rid of a lot of people who weren't level-headed on our team that, they wasn't really for ball around here. So we got rid of a lot of guys. We got rid of Randy Gregory. He was an undisciplined player. La'el Collins didn't really want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. He was out of it. Yes, he wanted to stay, but there was just things that we didn't like from him. He wasn't that same player that he was when we first drafted him. Obviously with that hip injury that he dealt in 2020, that sidelined him. He wasn't the same player once he came back. So Terrence Steele, who looked horrible his rookie year, came out in the second year, looked incredible. So that gave the Cowboys confidence to get rid of La'el Collins. Getting rid of Amari Cooper, in my opinion, was still a dumb move, but the Cowboys thought Amari Cooper, his head wasn't always in the right place of the games. But, we drafted a guy, like if you look at Jay Tuck's tweet, another big guy in the community. You should definitely check out Jay Tuck. If you go and look at his Twitter, he definitely has a link to the YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go check him out. Coach McCarthy, man, and the entire offseason after the game, he said the Cowboy players, they were nervous, and it did seem like that from last year. They did play scared and everything of that nature, and he was always mentioning that we had to get tougher. We had to get tougher, and that's exactly what we did all the way from the first round all the way to the 7th round, plus getting guys out of undrafted free agency. We did everything in the offseason, our preparation, our mentality, the way we switched our mentality this year. We knew that we were going to see the 49ers again. We wasn't even tripping off of our division because we knew that we can get our division any day of the week. We prepared, we strategized, we drafted for the Niners. We drafted Tyler Smith. We drafted Sam Williams that can still get to the quarterback, but number one can play tremendous in the run game. We drafted Jalen Tolbert to add another receiver out there, which we're not really utilizing right now, but Jake Ferguson, somebody out there you can run 21 personnel. You got John Ridgway, who isn't no longer on the team, but still. You got Damone Clark, a fast, athletic linebacker who can run sideline to sideline and can play drop back into coverage, quarterback spy. He can do the whole 9. You did a lot of things in this draft, in these past 3 drafts, but specifically this offseason, this draft, to specifically see the 49ers. You did everything in your will to see them. So that's why I felt like That's just one major stone as to why the Niners. That's why we're not scared of the Niners, and that's why you shouldn't be scared of the Niners, because we've been preparing 370 days to play the Niners. The Niners, they have the same team that they had last year. The only thing that's different is that they have to me, Brock Purdy's the same as Garoppolo. All he did was replace the Garoppolo with another Garoppolo, and then they added CMC. To me, that's all what they did, and they still are a really good team. But if you look at their schedule, they haven't played nobody, and that's one thing that was harping on us about Dallas last year was that we didn't play nobody, but the Niners did. We were playing offenses. We played the Eagles, who had Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and we played them early on in the season when they were 5-0. That was the best team that we have played and that we're going to play this year. The Niners, they are solid, like I said, but the Eagles are overall a better team than the Niners. And the first time we saw the Eagles, we only allowed 26, and the second time, same thing, we only allowed 28. That gave them 7. So that was the best that their offenses threw at us. And the second time it wasn't with Hurts, but look at the first time we played Hurts, only put up 26 points. So I mean, what is there really to be nervous about with the Niners? There shouldn't be. But hey, man, so like I said, so all that storyline is over now. How we're going to beat the San Francisco 49ers is one thing. So, like I said, we're going to set the tone early. We're going to have to set the tone early. We're going to have to let the Niners know that this is a way different team than it was last year, and you're not going to bully us out of this game. This is going to be a tough game from the first all the way to the fourth quarter. This is going to be a game where we're tough-nosed. We're going to play clean football. You cannot play sloppy football against the Niners. And like how I said in my live stream and also my post-game after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you cannot start out slow against the Niners. So whether you're playing defense, you can't, that first offensive possession has to be a touchdown. No matter if we get the ball to start the game or we get it the second possession of the game. But we must score touchdowns against the 49ers because it is essential that we do. Because like I said, you set the tone and then you score early and often. That's how you take away the element of the Niners running the ball. My other point I'm about to add is that we have to stop the run. We have to be very keen on on stopping the run. As they said when we were getting the ball ran on us this year, was that pass rush is a privilege. That was noted by Mike McCarthy. Which this is what this game is gonna have to be. We're gonna have to earn pass rush, but we're gonna have to stop the run. That is something that is very key in this game. We're gonna have to stop the run. Defensively, we cannot fall for the eye candy that Kyle Shanahan will bring. Kyle Shanahan does a lot of great scheming, and which is what makes him one of the greatest coaches of all time in the NFL. If you just look at some of his crazy offenses, man, like Seattle the second time they played on December 15th, he had 2 bubble screens on the opposite ends of the numbers. They had George Kittle streaking right down the middle for a touchdown. There's a bunch of times where he'll have a screen on the left, but then have a screen developing on the right or backside, or if Purdy turns around, he can throw directly to a CMC or a Debo or whoever's behind him. So there's a lot of things that he does that's really well. He gets a lot of matchups. He looks free. He is the scrub. He's going to find your weakest link on defense, and he's going to expose them. So whether that's your linebackers, whether that's your outside corners, whatever that may be, he's definitely going to be somebody that is going to exploit. So it is key for the Dallas Cowboys to don't fall for the eye candy. Read your keys. Understand who they want to give the ball to in certain situations. They're running the same offense that they did before. Of course, they're smart and they're going to run it differently. They're going to add a few wrinkles in there, but that's what's up to Dan Quinn, and Dan Quinn should know that, especially coaching with the Kyle Shanahan. All these playoffs are about is, for me, this is when legends are made, and this is when your superstars need to turn to, this is when your Pro Bowlers and everybody like that need to turn to all pros, superstars of that nature, So utilize your playmakers, like I said. Every single time I saw the Raiders, the Chiefs, the Chargers, Atlanta, all they did to gain advantages on this defense was to put the ball in the playmakers' hands. So get Tony Pollard out in space. Get Tony Pollard out on mismatches against Fred Warner, Drake Greenlaw. Get him on those mismatches. Him with a Jimmy Ward, things of that nature. Get Tony Pollard the ball in space. CeeDee Lamb, same thing. Make sure we're getting him in ways that he's finding the scrub. Whether that is Jimmy Ward, whether that's Lance Lenore, there's going to be ways that we're going to be able to win on the outside. This is where T.Y. Hilton and a Michael Gallup step up. We need those guys to step up, especially in the deep end, the deep range. I believe that we will be able to get a couple of touchdowns over the head of the San Francisco 49ers. We're just going to, like I said, Kellen Moore is going to have to call the game of his life in order for us to beat this team, man. And force Purdy to play quarterback, man. Like I said, once you score early and often and you play clean football, you're going to take that element of that running out of the equation. Once you're up 2 or 3 possessions on the Niners, it's going to be really, really hard for Brock Purdy for him to rely on that run game. Then that will force Purdy to throw the ball. If you look at Purdy's all his 6 games that he started, including the Dolphins game that he came, after a couple series after Garoppolo had went down, he was able to rely on the run game and things of that nature. Yes, he can fling the ball, but I'm not betting on him to throw the ball 60 times and he's going to beat you. He's not that sort of quarterback, in my opinion. Go around, and same thing. Another part that's going to force Purdy. Don't forget, guys. Purdy is the 7th round mystery relevant 7th round quarterback. He's 7th round for a reason. Yes, he is solid. He's in the NFL for a reason, but he's never played a defense like this. 1, 2. He's never played in a stage like this before in his career. So it will be key that we move Micah around. Make sure as long as Micah is living in the backfield with 13, we will be fine. There's nothing I'm worried about because he's going to start pressuring himself to get the ball out quicker. That's going to speed up Purdy. Purdy's going to get more nervous and things of that nature. So let's make sure that we get him uncomfortable. Move Micah around. Get him on Mike McGlinchey. Make sure we send him on the A-gap with mismatches on the centers, whoever their guard will be. So let's make sure that we do that. We move Micah around. He's our chess piece. Play press, zone press, man press. Make sure that we don't give San Francisco these easy run-outs for them to run a quick, easy screen game to get them on their post routes that they love, those bang eights that they love running, those slot, those crossers that they love to run. Let's make sure that we're up close and personal with the Niners. Yes, Brandon Ayuk is going to win some of his battles against Diggs, but it's key for Diggs that he uses his ball skills. He gets out there, he wins a rep, he gets a pick, put the Cowboys on a short field situations when we go out there and we score. No turnovers again. Like I said, you don't want to give this team the ball in plus territory where at best, if you stop them, you don't want to give the Niners 3 points. You don't want to give them 3. You don't want to give them 7. And that's how the momentum in this game switches by you doing that. So let's make sure that we don't turn the ball over. And no dumb penalties neither. No holding calls after we get a big gain. Let the guy go. No rough passer penalties. Once the quarterback releases him, you're already about to hit him. Just put your hands up, and if he falls down, you fall down with him. It's fine. We can live with that. No extra curricular activities after the play. So what? They're talking mess. It's divisional matchup. This is the game to punch your ticket to the NFC Championship game. Play your brand of football, Dallas Cowboys. We will be fine. And most importantly, finish the game. When you're up and you need to step on their necks like how you did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you have to do that to this team. Don't give this team life when they're down. Put them down. So, again, my ways of how we beat the Niners, man. You got to set the tone early and often, man. You got to score. You got to keep scoring touchdowns. That's important. You got to have to score touchdowns. Stop the run. Defense, don't fall for the eye candy that Kyle Shanahan will bring. Utilize your playmakers. That's what playoffs is for. Make sure you get the ball. And Pollard, Zeke, CD, Dalton Schultz, your tight ends. Make sure that your, playmakers are getting involved into this game early and often. Force Purdy to play quarterback. Once you're up a couple possessions on this team, you're going to force Brock Purdy to play quarterback. You're going to have to force him to throw the ball 35, 40 times in this game, and I feel way comfortable with us doing that. Move Micah around. He is our chess piece. He is our Nick Bosa, but he is our He is more valuable. He is better than Nick Bosa. That Nick Bosa cannot play linebacker and go chase out backs out the backfield. He's strictly a defensive line person. Move Micah around, put him on mismatches on the offensive line, put him back there at linebacker, put him in at a linebacker, acting like he's going to blitz, drop him back in coverage, do things like that, like how we did against Tom Brady. Do that again this week against the Niners. Play press, whether press man, whatever we're doing, don't give the Niners cushion because they can easily throw a smoke screen on that side. They can gain a bunch of yards if you give them a bunch of yards off the line. We cannot do that. We have to play press man like how we did last week versus the Bucs. Don't turn the ball over. No dumb penalties. And last but not least, finish the game. That's it for the video. I'll catch you guys on Sunday on the live stream. Make sure you guys have a nice day. Stay blessed. See you.